Okay, welcome. And this is the launch of the self-control workshop. A lot of us have issues with self-control. I surely do. And this workshop is as much for me as I'm putting it on for anyone who wants to participate. This is something that I'm working through as well, and there's merit in being in a community of people seeking the same goal, walking the same journey, and able to encourage each other, maybe give some strategies and tips that's working for each other. So this was something that I needed to work on for me, and I just figured I would throw it out there because I've had some success at some level, but I wanted to really create a community around this, help those I could help, and have those of you who are stronger in some areas help me as well as others as well. So that's what this is all about. And whenever you're joining, please, there will be a comment area below. If you happen to be on the YouTube page, simply comment in the area below. If you're over on my website, definitely let me know as well. I may or may not notice that while the workshop is going on or during the live presentation, but I will definitely respond to any comments after the fact as soon as possible. So thank you for signing up for this event. If you wish to share this event with your friends, please don't send them this particular page you're on right now. Let them come through the same door that you did. And however you found this page, maybe in the description area or in there will be a link to the entry page, because what that's going to do is, because this is an evergreen workshop, so you may be on with me live right now, or live in a future upcoming event, because this is going to be going on for 4 weeks. But if they join at another time, the content is going to be evergreen, which means it will be relevant for a long time, and they can join in whenever. And if they come in through the same door that you did, they will get all the notifications in sequence, and I will be notified so I can respond and we can all participate at a healthy level. And I need a good email for you guys, please. I'm going to ask that you respect the work that's happening here, the content value. Junk emails are for junk content. So if if this is of value to you, then I anticipate a good email that we can truly have good communication with each other. So my name's Trudy Behrman of trudybehrman.com, host of Debt Free Wealth Radio. And I'm all about profitable stewardship. And in the area of stewardship, a lot of us are not very good managers. And that has to do with our ability to be in control of what we have in our hands to manage. And for one thing, appetite is a big one for a lot of us. For those of us who are struggling with appetite, this is huge, because unlike the alcohol addicts, the drug addicts, if they manage to get cleaned up, they can avoid those things forever. For those of us who struggle with food, we can hardly give up eating. So appetite is a really big one. I decided to start with that, just get it out of the way, because I think it appeals to a lot of us. There's going to be 4 weeks. Today we're talking about appetite, but in week 2, which we will have the live event next Tuesday, July 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're on at a different time, no worries. Like I said, this content is going to be evergreen, but if you're joining me live, actually I will put the calendar in the description area below, however you found this page. So week 1, which is today, is appetite. Week 2, we'll do attitude. Week 3, we'll do accounting. We'll be talking about money. Week 4, we'll talk about attention. So no more ADHD, or we're going to put that under control at some level. So I am glad you're here with me. So this is an excuse-free experience. Excuse-free, guys. It's free, so no money excuses. You can't. It's extremely affordable because it's free. You can't say that you couldn't get here, you didn't have a car, it's too far. It's online. And also because it is evergreen, if you can't catch it live, you can catch it later. Okay. And it's also interactive. So I'm trying to make sure that this is not boring. So you may be listening to me right now, but in the area below, I'm going to encourage participation, and I will definitely respond to you. If you're going to do this workshop with me, then when you get to the page with the activity, there will be I'm going to outline some things tonight that we are going to work on during the week, and I'd like to see that participation. Whenever you join, put your comments in the area, and I will tell you more about that as we go along. So as I was researching this topic on self-control, especially in the area of appetite, I came across an article on Forbes.com, and I'm going to just read a chunk of it because I just thought it was very appropriate. And I'll have the link if you really want to see it here as well. It said there are many important qualities that can contribute to a person's achievement and happiness, but there is only one that begets sustainable long-term success in all aspects of life, and that's self-discipline. Whether in terms of your diet, fitness, work ethics, or relationships, self-discipline is the #1 trait needed to accomplish goals, lead a healthy lifestyle, and ultimately be happy. It went on to say, according to a 2013 study by Wilhelm Hoffman, people with high self-control are happier than those without. The study discovered this is true because the self-disciplined subjects were more capable of dealing with goal conflicts. These people spent less time debating whether to indulge in behaviors detrimental to their health and were able to make positive decisions more easily. The self-discipline did not allow their choices to be dictated by impulses or feelings. Instead, they made informed, rational decisions on a daily basis without feeling overly stressed or upset. I thought I captured the whole concept of this very, very well, and so I just wanted to share that with you. So once again, week 1, appetite, week 2, attitude, week 3, accounting, and week 4, attention. So some of us may be strong in one or more areas and weak in others. I'm going to suggest some strategies which I also will be following. I am not just a facilitator, guys. I am also a participant. So please look out for my comments in the area below as I work through these things along with you. I have achieved quite a bit of success in this area. I'm a very goal-oriented, get-it-done kind of person. I get stuff done. However, there's always room for improvement, and there are certain areas of my life that I'm definitely looking to move to the next level. And so this was very important to me because there's some loose ends here or there. So one of the first things we need to do is acknowledge our weakness. Like I just did, we need to acknowledge a weakness because you can't get help. You won't go to a doctor if you don't feel sick. Okay, this is just the way it is. If you can't acknowledge the illness or the weakness, then you're not going to be open to receiving help nor seek it. So acknowledge the weakness, slow down if necessary, get help, use resources that will lift you to that area of strength. In the area of discipline, self-control, willpower, this is difficult, again, especially in the area of food, because we cannot decide to just avoid food. Now, as you know, if you follow me at any level, I'm Christian, unapologetic about that. If this offends you, let me give you an opportunity to leave this right now. There are many other workshops out there, many that will probably serve you very well. If you continue to listen from here on, I'm going to assume that you have decided that this information is not going to be offensive to you, or you're planning to deal with it. So, according to the Bible, Romans 3:23, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. This means it is in our nature to choose the wrong path, to choose the less than desired path. It's natural for us to prefer to go the wrong route. But at the same time, we truly have a help in the Holy Spirit. So 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13 says, no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. I'm going to read that one again. That's 1 Corinthians 10:13. In a nutshell, guys, whatever you're going through, whatever area you're having trouble in, especially in the area of appetite and food, you are not alone. There is nothing that you're going through that is unique, very unique to you. There are others in the same boat. There's no temptation that has overcome except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear, which means as difficult as it seems, you can overcome it, because he's not going to tempt you beyond what you can bear. But when you're tempted, not only is it probably not beyond what you can bear, it might be difficult, but just at that point, he also will provide a way out so that you can endure it. Now, I'm going to share with you, I did a 40-day fast with my church. No hand claps here. This is no biggie. I'm not trying to tell you this to get anything special. I'm just sharing an experience with you. And during that fast, I decided to give up meat for whatever reason. That was just my decision. And I'm going to tell you that every time I struggled, I prayed. And I found that I did it. I did 40 days without the meat. Yet, the moment I ate that meat, I could not imagine not being without the meat. There was something about knowing that I was doing it for God, doing it for a holy purpose. I don't know what it was, guys, but there was something that happened that just made it different. And so what I'm trying to say is a fast is not the same as depriving yourself or as deciding to go on a diet, because there's a holy component to it, and that spiritual mindset really helped me through that time. For whatever that's worth, I'm just sharing that with you. So Philippians 3:19, this was an interesting one, and this was actually what triggered me to do this whole workshop, this exact verse. Philippians 3:19 says, their destiny is destruction, their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is set on earthly things. Now that's the NIV rendition. I'm going to read it for you, the same verse in the New Living Translation version. And it says, they are headed for destruction. Their God is their appetite. They brag about shameful things, and they think only about this life here on earth. Same verse, but it feels different, right? But one thing that was common to both of them is their God is their appetite, or their God is their stomach. Now, that's what this whole workshop is about, guys. It's about taking back control, because, you know, just imagine, for example, your stomach is going, and your stomach is leading you, and you're just kind of like following your stomach, and you know your stomach is dictating when you're going to eat, what you're going to eat. It's like you just, you know, given up control, and somebody is telling you what you're going to do. We're adults here, guys, and unless you are a child being served food by your mom and told to eat it, or you're in a prison and this is all they're getting, whatever, if you're of free will as you're listening to this, and you are free to make choices, don't act like you're not. Don't act like you're a slave to your stomach, to your appetite. You're in control, not your stomach. And that verse really caught me. And this whole workshop for the next 4 weeks is not about weight loss. It is not about weight loss. It is about taking back our control, being in control of the decisions that we make, that we rule our appetite. Our appetite does not rule us. Our belly is not our God. So weight loss may happen as a side effect, but for this week 1, where we're focusing on appetite, I'm simply asking you to work on being the master of your appetite. That's it. To simply be, for this 1 week, work on being the master of your appetite. Okay. So here are some things that I have tried in the past, or I'm going to try again and at a more serious level. So I'm going to give you a series of tips in a little bit. I had an experience one time. I blogged about it in another area. I had my kids like this particular snack. I think it was cheese puffs, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. I bought the bag, and every time I bought it, it would disappear. And so I bought another bag, and it just it worked out that it was like it looked like it was one bag. So it's like, where's mine? So they were starting to fight over the bag, and it actually had 9 servings. So what I started to do is when I purchased this item, I would immediately open it and get Ziploc baggies and share it out. And I continue to do that to this day, because I realized that there was a big scarcity mentality going on. And I find that when it comes to appetite, a scarcity mentality seems to reign. I know this is a fact. When I go down to my mother's, and it's usually the only time I get Jamaican food, it's like I pig out on a Jamaican food, because there's something in my mind that says, I'm not going to see this again. Ding, 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 ding. Scarcity. Scarcity has set in. And that is not true. That is a lie. Yes, I may not just generally run into it, but I can. There are lots of Jamaican restaurants in my town, and I could very just as well learn to make it. I just haven't bothered. So the scarcity mentality is what I've noticed. So when that one bag of chips came in, what they saw was one bag, but what I saw were the 9 servings. And the moment I split that bag into 9 portions, there was no more fight, and the portion size was more than adequate. But when you sit down to the one bag, you eat more than you need. So that was just one of the things that really makes sense. And guys, honestly, we'll talk about portion controls as one of the tips, but I just want to say this right now. Having 5 baths in a day will not make up for not having baths over the course of the next 5 days, any more than trying to we just have to just do this the right way. So here are some tips that I want to share with you. And in the comment area below, please feel free to add yours. And if you're on the appropriate page for the week, because what you're seeing now is a live event on my live page. This will be moved to the appropriate page so that the comments will all stay together. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment there, but I'll put a link to my website page, and I invite you to come over there and write your comments and share any additional tips with us. And it will also have instructions as to how I want the interaction to be. So you're watching this here today, but if this video will be posted to the appropriate page for the comments and the interaction. So look out for that. Okay. So here we go. I have 13 tips for you, and feel free to add your own. So number 1, stop using food as a reward. Stop using food as a reward. There are other things we can use to reward ourselves, including if you insist on using food for a reward, at least choose healthy options. So I remember once I bought a book that had visuals on calories, and it showed, 500 calories of French fries was just, I could have inhaled it and forgotten it. And then 500 calories of, say, a lean chicken sandwich. It was more satisfying, more fulfilling, and even more so beside that 500 calories of fruits and vegetables. Now, you can already imagine portion size. The French fries was a little handful, and the fruits and vegetables I don't think I could consume all that much. So when it comes to rewarding yourself, try not to use food as a reward. And if you are going to use food, try to use the healthier options. Number 2, remove the temptation. Create as much as possible a positive and reinforcing environment. Now, I am going to admit this is difficult, because I have kids, and my husband and my kids, they still will eat the junk. And when I remember once I went to the farmer's market, and I still do it this way. I still buy all this stuff. But for me, and I bought all this healthy stuff, and my son opened the fridge and said, "Mom, you went to the farmer's market and you came home with the farm. Where's the food?" So I can tell you, it is difficult when you have others living in your space that don't share this decision to, choose to eat healthily. But as much as is possible, remove the temptation. It really makes it easier. The next thing is log it. Log it. Now, personally, I hate counting calories, and I hate, even worse, tracking them. But Initially, you should do it just for a reality check. I remember years ago when I went to Weight Watchers, instead of calories, they use a point system, but the point was still tracking. And it's very eye-opening, because a lot of times things are less healthy than you think. You know, and if you just, once you get a hang of it, and it's the same thing that I teach with money, you need to know where everything is going. You need, because sometimes we're bleeding things out, we're losing stuff. So this way, when you log it, you will have, and if only for a short time, and then you'll know there's some go-to meals that you can always count on that are within the point range or the calorie range that you want to be in. Okay, so do it for a little while, and then you'll be good to go after that. I mentioned this already, but I'll go back to it again. Portion control. So like when I talked about the bag of chips, here's another example with portion control. Fill your plate. First of all, use smaller plates. But when you get your plate, fill half of the plate with fruits or vegetables. Once half of the plate is filled with that healthy stuff, then go ahead, and I'm not asking you to radically change anything, guys. I'm just asking you to add some simple little steps. So if you fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables, then use the other half to have the stuff you want. But obviously now you'll end up with a smaller portion. So that's one tip that has really helped me as well. The biggest one, if you leave with nothing else today, this is huge. Don't wait for motivation to take action. Action always creates motivation and momentum. Let me say that again. Don't wait to be motivated to take action. Hopefully this video will help motivate you to some extent. But honestly, guys, if you wait for the motivation, if you wait for it to feel good and feel right, you may be waiting a long time. But action creates motivation. Quick example, a lot of times it's like I look around at the house and it's like, you know, it feels overwhelming. And I just take a small area. Maybe I just clean one counter, or I clean the bathroom, some small area. And that quick sense of accomplishment gives me the energy to keep going. Action will create motivation and momentum. Number 6, forgive yourself and renew your commitment. And I don't mean tomorrow. So like if you've eaten something that you know is blowing out your plan, don't say, well, I've already ruined the day, and then gorge yourself for the rest of the day, because that scarce mentality is going to set in. Oh my gosh, I've got to eat it all because tomorrow I've got to. You see, that mentality is, oh my gosh, it's so scarce, I gotta deny. And so that scarcity mentality sets in. If you've messed up, forgive yourself, and in that next moment, make it right. Don't wait for the next day, because here's the thing, guys. We're accumulating those calories, healthy or unhealthy. We're accumulating those calories. It takes 3,500 extra calories to give you that extra pound. We don't need to, you know, if we've already blown it by 1,000, don't blow it by 1,500 or 2,000. So just, you know, in that moment, forgive yourself and renew your commitment. Another really good one is the phone. I use my phone alarm a lot. For a lot of reasons. One of it is I remind myself to drink water, but that's just another thing. The phone alarm, if you're feeling like you want something that you think is not really a good idea and you're struggling with, should I? I'm not telling you not to have it. That's not what this week is about. What I am going to ask you to do is get your phone out or get your clock alarm and set 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, try to distract yourself as much as possible. And at the end of the 10 minutes, if you still insist on having it, please, then go ahead and have it. Okay. But use the phone alarm and distract yourself for 10 minutes. The next thing is I'm going to ask you to do is to add water, a gallon of water if you can. If you add water to your day, so I'm not telling you to take away anything, but if you add water to your day, then it will not only help cleanse you and, you know, but it will help fill you up real big. So you will not feel the need to eat as much or as often, especially if you drink a few minutes before you're going to eat. So add water. Now this is the most difficult one I'm going to ask you to do. For this week only, choose one thing that you know you eat often, even if it's a healthy item, but just for the sake of practicing this control thing, give up one thing for the week. It's only 7 days. Now, a lot of times you've gone without that item for 7 days. Maybe you didn't buy it at the grocery this week and you'll get it next week. And the moment you decide not to have it, it's going to be harder to not have it. But that's the point. I want you to go through that challenge of deciding not to have something just for 7 days and see how you feel. Write down how you feel and share with us how you're working through that struggle. Whatever that item is, just one item, okay? This one is huge. For those of you who are Christians, you know this is probably the most important help we can ever get is praying. I found that when I'm struggling with, especially when I went through that fast, for example, oh my gosh, in that moment when I felt the weakest, I just said, Lord, please help me. I'm really wanting to eat this right now, whatever. But praying is huge. Praying is huge. It will give you the strength. It will give you the ability. And if not, it will at least release the sense of burden on your heart. So please make sure you are praying through this experience. Number 12, posters in strategic places. It really, really helps. I've got on my desktop, I've got a picture of what I'd like to look at. I can't show it to you, but I have stuff like this, all around for me to see. I have stuff in my kitchen, just quick things that my eyes are gonna, see, so that I am constantly reminded. Last but not least, for this week, when we're talking about appetite, have things like baby carrots, grapes, apples ready on the go. So when you really feel like you have that munchie and you need to grab for something, have those ready. Little Ziploc baggies of them ready. If you do apples, just get a little orange juice and put it on it so it doesn't go brown real fast, and have them in Ziploc baggies ready to go. So that's 13 tips I gave you right there. I'm sure you can probably come up with more that work really great for you. Remember, this focus this week is self-control, appetite. Now, appetite is something that we can cultivate, guys, and it's easier for some things than others. I mean, if people can get themselves to like alcohol, come on. The very first time you taste alcohol, there's very few of those drinks that taste good. It's an earned appetite. It's something you've made yourself like over time. So if people can make themselves like alcohol and kale, or if you're a drug addict, you can get yourself to like needles or not have a problem with them. We have the capacity to choose to do good and right things. Okay, we have that capacity. If we can choose to drink alcohol, if we can choose to eat kale and like it, because there are a lot of people who do, we can choose to do the right thing. And I'm going to leave you with this and wrap this up for the evening. Philippians 4 verse 8 says, finally, brothers, I wrap it up with it. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Guys, I want to tell you, if we make a habit of pursuing excellence, pursuing good and fantastic things, eating only the best of the best, no more junk. If we decide we are worthy of the best and pursue the nicest of the nicest, the best of the best that is within our control, in our ability to achieve, if you've got if you're going to buy a pair of shoes and you have the $50, buy the best pair of shoes that the $50 can buy. Don't just buy the cheap crapola thing. Always pursue excellence. If we pursue excellence on a regular basis, guess what you have? Excellent things, nice things. So finally, whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, if there's any excellence, anything worthy of praise, think about these things, because when you think about something, it is going to influence how you feel. And when you change how you feel, it will also change how you act. So guys, that's it for today. I am looking forward to your contribution to the page. On that page, it's going to show you what we're looking for. What we're looking for is for you to say, I have, for example, day 1. So it's a 7-day commitment. Many of the 7 days as you can. Simply pop over to the page and say day one, because it's evergreen, so everybody's going to be popping it on different. So you're going on that day, so it's the day one page. Everything on that page will be day one page, but it's going to be 7 days of appetite, right? So you go to that page and say day one, I ate I drank my water, I struggled with this, whatever the case may be, and just log that there and look for others who have commented, encourage, like, give high fives, celebrate, you know, encourage, put a tip, whatever, and let's interact on that page. Like I said, it's going to be evergreen, so people will probably show up at different times, and I'm encouraging that. You look out for my comments and contributions as well, and I look forward to you guys contributing to me, and I will definitely be responding to you. So Trudy Behrman here, super simple to find at trudybehrman.com. Let us become profitable stewards and have great stewardship of our body. Let's be great managers of this body, this one-time chassis that allows us to walk through this world for as long as we get to be here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to your contribution on the page during this week.